Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So we are discussing about electrochemistry. This is the second video on electrochemistry and topic is electrodes and its potential. So for better understanding of this topic, you should watch the first session which is already uploaded in the YouTube. So you can find the link of that video in the following description. The simple definition of electricity is the movement of electron from one end to another end through a medium is called electricity. The conductor means the substance which allow the passes of electron through it is called conductor. There is a two types of conductor is there, metallic conductors and electrolytic conductors. Metallic conductor means solid objects which conducts the electricity through the electrons, and electrolytic conductors are liquid solutions which forms ions. Through the ions they conduct the electricity. So there is a two types of conductors, metallic conductors and electrolytic conductors. These two are going to play important role in electrochemistry. So that's why we need to know what is conductor, what is metallic conductor, and what is electrolytic conductor. So for example, if you take iron rod, aluminum rod, or whatever metals, all metals are good conductor of electricity. So they transfer the electrons through the free electrons present in their valency orbitals. So all metals conducts the electricity through the valency electrons. Okay, like that. Electrolytic solution, for example, when you add NaCl to the water, it immediately ionizes and forms Na plus ion and Cl minus ion. That means cation and anion. So these ions will responsible for the transfer of electron from one end to another end. So these type of conductors are called electrolytic conductors. Generally, metallic conductors are called electrodes. Electrode is nothing but an electrode is a solid electrical conductor that carries electrical current. Example, all metals. Electrodes are two types, anode and cathode. We will discuss what is anode, what is cathode, what happening at anode, what happening at cathode. We will discuss furtherly. So I already told the chemical compound which can ionize in liquid state is called electrolyte. Which is ionized is called electrolyte. When it is ionized, it forms ions. So through ions, it can conduct the electricity. So all aqueous solutions, for example, copper sulfide, zinc sulfide, these are the examples for the electrolytes. So electrodes and electrolytes are essentially used in the both electrolytic and electrochemical cells. We already known what is electrochemistry, the studying of two types of reaction, electrolytic reaction and electrochemical reaction. One reaction consumes the electricity, another reaction produces the electricity. Studying of both reactions is called electrochemistry. So these electrodes and electrolytes are going to play important role in both reaction, that means in electrochemistry. Ability to do something is called potential. So electrode also can do something, that is called electrode potential. So what electrode can do, what electrode can perform? So metals, that means electrodes, has tendency to lose or gain electrons when they are dipped into electrolytes. When the electrode is dipped into electrolyte, either electrode gains electrons from the electrolyte or it releases electrons to the electrolyte. That was the tendency, that was the ability of the metals. That ability is called electrode potential. Okay, so we can measure the particular metal electrode potential by making the standard conditions. For example, electrode potential is depending on the different metals, metallic nature. For example, iron has one type of electrode potential, zinc has one type of electrode potential, copper has one type of electrode potential. That means iron can accept or gain electrons in one range. Like zinc also not same as iron, it differs. That means when the metal changes, the electrode potential also changes. Another thing is, same iron, if it is dipped into the different electrolytes, for example, copper sulfide, zinc sulfide, HCl, these are the electrolytes. When you dip the iron rod in HCl, it shows one type of a potential. So if you dip into the zinc sulfide, it shows one type of electrode potential. So electrode potential varies by changing the metal and also by changing the electrolyte, and also depending on the temperature and some other external conditions. So if you want to know the particular metal electrode potential, you need to fix different parameters constantly. So that when you fix the different parameters constantly, you will get electrode potential. The tendency of giving or gaining electrons by metal when it dipped into its own ions at 25 degrees centigrade is called electrode potential of that metal or that electrode. So here condition is you need to dip a metal in its own ions. That means iron, its iron ions. That means iron rod in iron chloride FeCl2 or FeSO4. FeSO4 produces Fe plus 2 ions and SO4 minus 2 ions. So when you dip iron rod in iron solution, so at 25 degrees centigrade, then also it has either tendency to lose electrons or gain electrons. So then the tendency is called electrode potential of metal. So remember here, every metal loses or gain electron when it is dipped into any solution, but it is not going to be electrode potential of that metal. When you dip a metal into own ions at 25 degrees centigrade, that is called the electrode potential of the metal. There is a two possibilities, either metal loses electrons or gains electrons. So when a metal dipped into its own ions, so metal can loses electrons to its solution. So loses electrons is called losing of electron is called oxidation of a metal. So that metal involved in oxidation. That's why here we are measuring the tendency of oxidation. That's why it is called oxidation potential. For example, if you consider a zinc metal, so there is a zinc metal is there. That zinc metal is dipped into its own ions. That means your solution is zinc sulfide ZnSO4. When your zinc rod is dipped into ZnSO4, zinc slowly uh, dissolves into the solution. That means zinc converting into Zn plus 2, that Zn plus 2 ions are transferred to the solution. So when zinc transferred to Zn plus 2, zinc rod producing electrons. That means zinc rods contains negative charge on it, and plus 2 ions are transferring to the solution. So there is a charge separation between zinc rod and electrolyte. So there is a double layer forms at the surface of the metal. This is called charge separation. It produces potential difference. So definition can be also state like this: the potential difference arised between the metal and electrolytic solution is also called electrode potential. So simple way, the tendency of losing or giving electrons of a metal when it is dipped into its own ions is called oxidation potential. Here the losing or giving both are considered as the same meaning. Okay, metal loses electron or metal gives electron, both are same, don't confuse about it. So what is here? Zinc, when you dip the zinc rod in its own ions, zinc usually loses electrons. That electrons negative charge formed on the zinc metal, and solution gets more positive charge. There is a charge separation between the zinc rod and electrolyte. This is called oxidation potential. That my question is, why zinc loses electron? So there is a tendency of gaining electrons also, but why zinc only loses electron? This can be explained by considering the electrochemical series. It will come in the further sessions. Don't think much about that one. So you can see here copper is dipped into copper sulfate ion. So that means copper is dipped into Cu plus 2 ions. Here copper plus 2 ions gains electrons and converting into copper. That means a blue color copper plus 2 solution accept electrons from the metal, and copper plus 2 is converting into copper. Copper plus 2 is converting into copper. So that's why a reduction takes place. That's why the tendency of gaining or accepting electrons of a metal when it is dipped into its own ions called reduction potential. So there is a two types of electrode potentials is there. One is oxidation potential, one is reduction potential. The ability to involve in oxidation is called oxidation potential. The ability to involve in reduction is called reduction potential. So either metal involved in oxidation process or reduction. There is a problem when your zinc rod is dipped into Zn plus 2 solution. Zinc rod continuously losing electrons and converting into Zn plus 2. That Zn plus 2 ions are moving towards the liquids, that means electrolyte. That means positive charge developed on the electrolytic solution and negative charge developed on the metal. So because of negative charge on the metal, excess positive charge on the solution, there is an attraction between negative and positive charge will stop the further oxidation process of the zinc. So this is the important point. When you dip the zinc rod in metallic solution, so zinc first it releases the electrons and it releases the Zn plus 2. But after some time the process will stop. That means it is not actually stopped. The process is reversible. Again Zn plus 2 electron converts and make it as a zinc. So that's why actually we are able to see this one as a reversible reaction. Zinc converting into Zn plus 2, and the same way after some time Zn plus 2 is again convert back into zinc. So here further oxidation is not possible. So when you keep this zinc in zinc sulfide alone like this, it is also applicable for the copper for copper sulfide. So when you dip copper into copper sulfide, copper plus 2 ions gains electrons, okay, gains electrons, and it is adsorbed on the metal surface. That's why positive layer appear on the metal and negative layer appear in the electrolytic solution. After some time further reduction is not possible. So this is also a reversible reaction. So okay, so when you dipped a metal in its own ionic solution, oxidation or reduction takes place. That is right. But it has a limitation. Okay. So to solve this one, just consider a zinc metal in copper sulfide solution. Zinc metal in copper sulfide solution. See here, zinc is not in its own ions. Zinc is dipped into its copper sulfide ion. Okay. So let's see. After some time, you can observe two things. So here, you can observe the two things. First, copper sulfide in blue color solution. It is a blue color solution, and zinc rod is a white color rod. Okay. When you dip it after some time, this blue color of copper sulfide slowly fade off. That means disappear into light color, and white zinc rod is deposited by the black copper metal, copper solid. So what happening here? So here zinc is losing electrons. As zinc is losing electrons, negative charge is developed on the metal surface, right? Metal surface. So Zn plus 2 is deposited into the solution. Same way, copper plus 2 ions present in the solution is attracted by the electrons. They accept electrons, copper plus 2 converting into copper. So now the negative ion produced on the metal surface immediately consumed by involving in a reduction reaction with copper plus 2. So listen it carefully, it is somewhat confusion, but it is very simple. Zinc, when zinc loses electrons, that electrons is gained by the copper solution. Copper solution accept that electrons and copper converting into copper. Copper plus 2 is converting into copper that was deposited on the zinc rod. So that means zinc is collapsing, and also copper sulfide is converting into copper. Zinc rod is converting into Zn plus 2. So here zinc involved in oxidation reaction, copper involved in copper plus 2 involved in reduction reaction. Oxidation and reduction both are taking simultaneously. This is called redox reaction. Is it spontaneous reaction or non-spontaneous reaction? It is a spontaneous reaction. Zinc is itself converting into Zn plus 2 and releasing 2 electrons. Copper plus 2 itself converting into copper and it's gaining 2 electrons. So somewhere electrons is releasing, somewhere electrons are accepting. So is it possible to produce electricity? So what I told, electricity is movement of electrons from one end to another end. But if you observe here, zinc rod and copper sulfide both are at a place. Both are at a place. Okay. Both are at a place. So zinc is losing electron, copper plus 2 is gaining electrons, but there is no movement of electrons. Within house, if you give money to your brother, it is not called as a borrow. Why? Because there is no transition of money. So within house, within room, it is going to be transition between two-person. It not considered as a borrow or something. So same way, electrons are transferring within the place, within the one place. That means it is not a movement of electron. It's not a transferring of electron. That's why you are unable to produce it as a electricity. Instead of electricity, it produces heat energy. So here it is a spontaneous reaction. It should release energy in the form of heat, not a it not produce a electricity. Okay, so that's why redox reaction at a time but not at a place. Redox reaction always takes place at a time. That means oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. That means oxidation and reduction takes at a time, but if it is done at a place, it will not result as a electricity. It will produce as a heat energy. Now consider zinc is dipped into Zn plus 2 solution, copper is dipped into copper plus 2 solution. So when you connect zinc rod with the copper rod with the external conducting wire, that means what you did here. So zinc rod and copper rod are connected with external wire. Now zinc losing electrons, that electrons losing electrons. Here copper plus 2 required electrons. So when the zinc loses electron, that electrons travel through the wire and reaches to the copper rod. That electrons is consumed by the copper plus 2, and copper plus 2 is deposited on the copper metal rod. Okay, so here if you observe here, zinc is continuously losing electrons and that electrons is not stay on the zinc rod. These are taken by the copper rod through the external wire. So there is no double layer formation chances. Why? Because all negative charges are immediately removed by the copper rod through the external wire. And the same way in the copper side also, the produced negative electrons are immediately consumed by the copper plus 2. So here electron transferring from zinc rod to copper rod through a external wire. So this is called transferring of electron from one place to another place. This is nothing but electricity. So that's why you need to do a redox reaction, but but redox reaction mean oxidation and reduction. Oxidation at one place, reduction at one place, both are connected. Then oxidation releases electrons, reduction consumes electrons. Released electrons travel through the external wire at the consumed place. So there is a movement of electrons. This is called electricity. So this is also called, the total setup is called electrochemical cell. We can see it is, you can see the full picture of electrochemical cell. It is also called Daniel cell, galvanic cell. So what is electrochemical cell? Electrochemical cell is a device which produces electrical energy by performing a spontaneous redox reaction. So when spontaneous reaction takes place, then only energy is released. That energy in the form of electricity. Here, what is redox reaction? Redox reaction means oxidation and reduction reaction. Both should takes place at a time. Yes, both should takes place at a time. But if takes place at a place, you should not able to produce electricity. That's why you need to divide oxidation reaction at one place and reduction reaction at one place. That's why electrochemical cell consisting two of cells. So one cell consisting of two of cells, that means 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 gives one cell. So one off cell is called oxidation off cell, where oxidation takes place. If you can see the left side, so here zinc rod is dipped into Zn+2 solution. This is called oxidation off cell. And other side, copper rod dipped into the copper sulfide solution. It is called reduction off cell. Oxidation off cell means where the oxidation takes place. That off cell is called oxidation off cell. Where the reduction is takes place, that off cell is called reduction off cell. So if you observe the each off cell consisting of one electrode and electrolyte. So if you observe the oxidation off cell, zinc rod is there, that is the electrode, and zinc sulfide solution is there, that is the electrolyte. If you observe the reduction of cell, copper is a electrode and copper sulfide is a electrolyte. So each of cell consisting of a metal, that is called electrolyte, and solution, that is called electrolyte. And another thing is, two metals zinc and copper are connected with a external conducting wire. Another one is, two solutions, two electrolytes are connected with the salt beach. The construction of an electrochemical cell. So once you construct, when you connected all the things, so what will happen? So here zinc slowly involved in oxidation reaction, it loses electrons and finally converting into Zn+2. You can see here zinc is losing electrons converting into Zn+2. That Zn+2 is released into the water, so solution. So here Zn+2 is released into the solution. Electrons are released on the metal surface. So here electrons are generated on the zinc metal, but these electrons immediately dragged by the external wire and reaches to the copper. Why it is reaches to the copper? Here electrons are required. Copper plus 2 is required electrons. It accept electrons and converting into copper. So here electrons is releasing. So here electrons are consuming. So electrons are neutralized here. Electrons are releasing and electrons are consumed. So where the electrons are released, so if you observe the here zinc rod, on its surface negative charge is developing, okay, and zinc rod involved in oxidation. So where the oxidation takes place, that electrode is called anode. Remember it, it is very important thing, whether it is a electrochemical cell or electrolytic cell, where the oxidation takes place, where the oxidation takes place, that metal is called anode. Okay, so here zinc, at zinc surface oxidation is takes place, that's why it is called anode. Here anode gets negative charge. Why anode get negative charge? Zinc losing electrons, that means on the zinc surface negative charge is developed, that's why zinc is negatively charged, and here oxidation is taking place, that's why it is called anode. If you observe the cathode, at cathode reduction takes place, always at cathode reduction takes place. So and also here negative charges are consuming, that means all negatives are consuming here, that's why it get a positive charge. So in electrochemical cell, at anode negative charge is developed, at cathode positive charge is developed. It is not same for electrolytic cell, it is reversible, we can observe there also. So what is the importance of salt bridge here? What is the importance of salt bridge? What is the specifications? Why we need to keep salt bridge here? See here, zinc is losing electrons. That electrons are consuming by the copper, no problem. But here, zinc ions are released into electrolytes. So more positive charge is developed on the solution here. In the same way, here copper plus 2 ions are consuming. That's why more sulfate ions are developed in the solution. That means more positive charge developed in the solution at the oxidation of cell, more negative charge developed in the reduction of cell electrolyte. To balance these things, the salt bridge consisting positive ions and negative ions. So negative ions are moves towards the oxidation of cells to stabilize the positive ions, and positive ions moves towards the reduction of cell to stabilize the negative ions. So that was the to maintain the electrical neutrality and to close the circuit of the cell. The salt bridge is useful. Without salt bridge we cannot make the electrical neutrality. Let's take a electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell mean which is the which consumes the electrical energy by to do a performing a redox reaction. The redox reaction is a non-spontaneous reaction. So all non-spontaneous reactions require external energy. So that energy in the form of electricity. So my target is here. I want to convert salt water into pure water. Salt water mean it contains, for example, table salt. If water contains table salt, so that contains sodium ion, Na plus ion, and Cl minus ions, Na plus ions and Cl minus ions. Na plus ion is a cation. Why? Because it is having a positive charge, and Cl minus ion is a negative ion. So chloride ion Cl minus. So I want to remove Na plus ions and Cl minus ions from the salt water. When I remove it, converting into pure water. Is it possible to convert salt water to pure water without applying any external energy? It's not possible. So to do that non-spontaneous reaction, we are applying electricity. Here, just look the cell. There is a two metals is there. One metal is connected to negative terminal of the battery. We need to supply electrical energy. For that purpose, we require a battery or electrical source. So one metal is connected to negative terminal of the battery. That's why it gets a negative charge. It's get a negative charge. And another metal is connected to positive terminal of the battery. That's why it gets a positive charge. Okay. So now, so when I switch on the battery, so this metal total, this left side metal gets negative charged on its surface. It has fully negatively charged. So negatively charged metal attracts the all positive ions around it. So it is already negative charge. That's why it attracts the all Na plus ions towards this side. Okay, towards this side. So all Na plus ions in the middle tanks. This tank is separated by the ion selective membranes. These are called ion selective membranes. So I am not going to explain these things totally now. So this will only encourage to pass specific ions through it. For example, cation selective membrane only allows the cations through it. Anion selective membrane only encourage to move the anions through it. Okay. So now here negatively charged metal accept the or attract the all positive ions towards it. So Na plus ion moves towards the this metal. So what will happen? Na plus accept this electron converting into Na. Is it which type of reaction it is? Na plus accepting electron and converting into Na. So which type of reaction it is? Is it called oxidation or reduction? So it is accepting electrons is called reduction. Reduction takes place at cathode. That's why this negatively charged electrode is called cathode. Remember here one thing, where oxidation takes place, that is called anode. Where reduction takes place, that is called cathode. So irrespective of it is electrochemical cell or electrolytic cell, it is called cathode. Okay. So but here we convert connected into negative terminal of the battery. That's why it's get negative charge. So cathode no need to always positive or always negative. So cathode is negative in electrolytic cell, positive in electrochemical cell. But at cathode always reduction takes place. That is the important point. Okay. So anode, if you see the anode has fully equipped with the positive ions. So anode is fully equipped with the positive ions. So these positive ions attracts the all negative ions in the solution. So negative ions from the solutions are attracted by the, so this positive end. So here Cl minus converting into Cl2 and it producing two electrons. That means releasing two electrons. Releasing electrons is called oxidation. That's why it is called anode. So like that in middle tank, if you observe the middle tank, all positive ions moves towards the left, all negative ions moves towards the right. So in middle tank there is no ions. That means it is a pure water. Like that I can convert the pure water by applying electricity. That's why it is called electrolytic reaction. And already told what is anode, what is cathode. Anode, where oxidation takes place, it is called anode. Where reduction takes place, it is called cathode. either it is electrochemical cell or electrolytic cell, at anode oxidation takes place, at cathode reduction takes place. But if you observe the charges present in the anode in electrochemical cell, so I'm sorry, both I wrote as a electrolytic. It is actually electrochemical cell. It is actually electrochemical cell. By mistakenly I am wrote is electrolytic cell. So no problem, here electricity is producing, that means it is electrochemical cell. Electrochemical cell anode has a negative charge, but electrolytic cell anode has a positive charge. Okay, just remember, just observe these changes. At electrochemical cell cathode has a positive charge, but electrolytic cell cathode has a negative charge. But in both reactions, at anode oxidation takes place, at cathode reduction takes place. So this is the topic for today. So in this topic what we learn, so what is conductor, what is electrode, what is electrolyte. So types of electrodes are called anode and cathode. At anode always oxidation takes place, at cathode reduction takes place. So electrolyte mean which dissolves into ions is called electrolyte. It has ability to pass electricity through it. So there is a two types of electrochemistry cells. Those are called electrochemical cell, electrolytic cell. How electrodes and electrolytes are important in electrochemical cells and electrolytic cells, and what is the electrode potential we discussed in this topic. So next topic, how EMF can be measured. That means, so when you connect an anode and cathode in different solution, different cells, if you connected each other, it produces electricity. How much electricity is produced? How can you calculate the each electrode potential? In the next session we will going to discuss those things. Thank you for listening. So we will meet again.